welcome to Around the ACL. It's Michelle Thompson here, joined by Trey Ryder and Anthony Ione. And we've got a great show today. We're going to talk about some predictions this season, some open standings. We're going to talk about some more draft grades for the American South, play a little game over-under, and name that team. So hopefully Anthony and I don't look too bad. Trey doesn't make us look bad. We'll find out.
We're winging it. We're winging that one. We haven't seen everybody. You know, it'd be different like if we were a couple games into the season, right? And you got a feel of how the teams are flowing, partnerships. You can attach, faces to teams. But yeah, right now we're all learning these teams.
Absolutely. All right. And Trey, I saw on Twitter that you're going to be playing in a competitive.
Oh yes.
Oh geez.
Oh yes. Let's go.
I'm supposed to bring that up.
I love it.
Bring that up. No,
so are you practicing for this or?
Yeah, I got to pick up some bags last week. I'm throwing, I think I've decided what I'm going to throw.
Okay.
In the tournament. Yeah. Part of it is because Dusty, who is the conference director, hired me to do the commentary for the Sunday open singles, open doubles. So I have to set up on Saturday, but he's like, you have a 2-hour window or a 3-hour window to set up during this time or whatever. So I'm like, then afterwards he's got like all the different singles divisions. So I was like, might as well see what happens. Right. So I'm going to play competitive singles, see how bad I do. I'm shooting for, I think the number I like laid on was like, if I can average a 7.2 PPR, like
that's good.
That would be my ultimate goal. But I think I'm going to throw Black Sheep Blackwaters. So my dad has a set of those and I picked them up at the office. I was like, oh my gosh, these are perfect because I need a loose, floppy, slow bag. Right. Okay. And a lot of times, like, a lot of the BG throwers, they're too puffy, right? Or they're not very loose. They're more like compact, and that lets them roll a little bit more. I kind of like the loose, slow bag. So I'm just trying to get around the hole, cause some congestion. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, I just love the idea that the guy probably the most dedicated time-wise to the game is kind of going back to his roots, right? He was a player first. He was a player first, so he's able to enjoy the part of this that we all enjoy, and that's actually playing. But the biggest thing, what you just said kind of blew my mind. How does a local place afford the GOAT of commentary? Like, how much? What is your going rate, Trey, to go in and be hired to do some commentary?
I'm cheaper than Wally, so I mean, I'm
wow. Trey, you got to look in the mirror.
Honestly, normally, if I had to go anywhere, my rate would be much, much higher simply because I don't want to go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
But when literally the office is 9 minutes from my house and Dusty's going to bribe me with a few beverages and, I can do it. I had nothing going on. So, but if he said it's 30 minutes down the road, it's 2 hours down the road, forget it.
No amount of money.
Quadruples.
Fair enough. All right. Well, we can't wait to see what happens. When is that, Trey?
That's this weekend.
Oh, it's this weekend.
Yes.
Oh, you know what we're talking about next week.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Hey, Anthony, we got to pull up his stats from it. Let's go.
Nah, I mean we won't do that too much. Let's just talk about wins and losses.
If I throw a 5.5, I might never pick up a bag again. If I can win one game in competitive and throw 7-2, I don't care what happens. I don't care if I lose the other two 20-21-0.
That's a good goal. All right, well, let's get into some other predictions, not Trey's game. We've got all of our nationals coming up here, and we're going to go into kind of who we think might win these nationals, which we were talking about briefly before. Obviously, last year, first national surprised us all. It's not what we thought was going to happen, but there it was. So we're obviously very early, just making predictions, just having fun with it. So what do you have for national number one, Trey?
Yeah, national number one right out of the gate. I'm going with some familiar names. I'm going with someone that, when we had hot takes, my hot take, if you guys remember a couple weeks ago, or it might have been last week, I don't remember. I said Alex Rawls would win 2 nationals.
Yeah.
So I'm coming out of the gate saying he's got to win the first one, right?
All right.
So he wins the first one, and I have continuing out of the gate a team that's hot right now, finished the season incredibly well. I got Mark Richards, Philip Lopez. Kind of a boring tandem. I promise I'll get a little bit more exciting. I got Rawls taking singles and Richards Lopez taking doubles at the kickoff battle.
Who do you have, Anthony?
Man, we do this shit all the time, Trey. Yeah, so I have the exact same thing. So if we go back, if we go back to Nationals 1, so Matt Guy came out and won Nationals 1 in singles. I think we get the same thing this season. Someone coming in who we expect to win. Guy finishing off in the 3rd rank. Alex Rawls is going to be right there, a 1, 2, 3 guy. I think, like you said, Alex Rawls doing it. But last season we did get some dark horses. We got Malone and Johnson that came out and won doubles. I don't see that happening out of the gate. I do think we start to see some of the rookies maybe filtering a little bit later, but I think we need to, first pro experience, first time on all these, the broadcast ideas. Maybe they make it to a final, but then the pressure of the stage, gives them a nice second place. But I like Richards and Lopez. But if we did get a dark horse out of doubles just for fun, because we had one at Nationals 1, I kind of like a Brooks Bernasette or even a Turpin Franklin. I think those would be some pretty legit dark horses. Malone Johnson finished 113th or 115th in doubles last season and won a national. So, hey,
Yeah.
It's anyone's game. But we should mention we're going to get a little women's singles this year too, right, Trey? So I just thought I'd throw in there Rosie Streaker. I think she's coming in really hot. And I think Damon continues his reign. The first one, I think, goes to Damon Dennis for seniors.
Yeah, if I had to throw in a doubles, maybe a dark horse, but someone, if I'm going to go away from the heavy favorite, someone that's won 2 kickoff battles in doubles with a new partner this year, Kyle Malone, Jimmy Humans.
Yeah.
One coming out hot wouldn't
awesome.
surprise me either.
That would be awesome.
That was on my list as well. All right, what do you got for number 2?
Cornhole Mania for the past 2 seasons, and even seasons before that, always gives us a surprise in singles. 2 years ago, it was a rookie pro in Steven Bernasette that we did not expect. Right? Last year, we had Cornhole Mania singles, a Matthew Creek killer, a singles winner that we did not expect. So I'm trying to keep that as close as I can. So I'm racking my brain of who can do this. I wanted so bad to pull the trigger here, but I can't do it. I'm going to chicken out. But I wanted to pull the trigger on Travis Purser and go crazy.
That's crazy.
And say a rookie singles that nobody's expecting to win following suit of these past 2 singles wins it. However, I'm going to chicken out and go with a Ryan Wiedenfeld, still saying a rookie is going to win it, and maybe not the number 1 rookie and Fisher Hamilton wins it. So I'm trying to stay with that theme, but something tells me that Cornhole Mania always gives an opportunity for those rookies to make a splash. And then in doubles, I got Graham and Guy on that one. They won it last year. I think they win it again this year. Graham and Guy will not go the whole season without winning something. So I think they win national too.
Yep, agreed. Anthony, what do you got?
All right, this is getting a little ridiculous. Same ideas, Trey. No joke. So I was going through same thing. We had the rookie topic that you were talking about. I was thinking the same thing. I think we get a rookie coming out winning the singles here at national number 2. I was going to go with Fisher Hamilton though, but still the same idea. Here's my note. Won it last year, going to do it again. Jamie Graham, Matt Guy, I like them for doubles. And then we saw Damon Dennis go back to back to back to start the season last year. I like him getting 2 right out of the gate again. So I'm going to go Dennis again in seniors, and then Cheyenne Renner's not going to, she's not going to go long without picking up a women's single. So I like Cheyenne Renner for that national too.
All right. What do you think about number 3, Trey?
So the bag brawl, okay, I'm going back to the idea that we have to have Alex Rawls win 2 of these 4.
Okay.
So I'm slotting in there at number 3. So I have Alex Rawls winning number 3. Then on the double side, okay, this time I'm trying to find a different name, right? We had Guy and Graham last year win twice. We had Lopez and Richards win 1. So we have 2 of our top 4 teams. And then we had kind of that outlier in each year in Malone Johnson. Now, it happened at the kickoff battle, but I think there's going to be someone each year that maybe is not a 1, 2, 3, type of team that comes through and wins it. I still think it's a top 10 team. I'm going to go with someone who made the broadcast last year and put on a really good show and just came up a little bit short. Josh Holland and Derek Holland win the bag brawl doubles.
Anthony?
National 3. So Jamie Graham got it last year. He's gonna pick one up, I think, next season. So what's a better time than now? I think that he gets that second one or that third national. We had a back-to-back in Jamie Graham, Matt Guy last season. National 2, National 3. I don't think we get a back-to-back this year. I'm going to throw Alex Rawls and Trey Birchfield in there, picking up the National 3. And then I think we get Renner here going back-to-back. We should mention that this year there's a focus on the women's singles. So we're going to get women's singles as opposed to women's doubles this year. So Cheyenne Renner with a back-to-back in singles. And then I think it's time for Maudlin to come and pick one up. Damon Dennis, here's where he got the three-peat. I don't think he gets the three-peat. Maudlin coming in, stealing a senior singles at National 3.
All right, on to number 4. What you got?
All right, number 4. Anthony just said it. He's like, I just can't imagine Jamie Graham not winning a singles national next year. So I think he takes the 4th and final one. But I do think we get a 2 national win by a doubles team, but it's not going to be Guy and Graham next year. I get Lopez and Richards winning again. So I have Graham, Lopez, Richards for national number 4. Anthony's been giving some seniors, senior spin in there. I think we have, of the 5 events, 4 different seniors winners next year.
I love it. Yep.
So we have some parity on the women's side. Give me the opposite. I think Cheyenne Bubenheim wins 4 out of 5 of the total events, and only someone sneaks in to steal one of them. I don't know if it's going to be the World Championships or one of the nationals, but I say Bubenheim wins 4 of 5.
Crazy. That was your hot take.
Yeah, maybe.
Anthony?
Time for Tony Smith to get his first singles national win. He almost had it last season right at about this point. He got through Graham, and then I think it was Birchfield that got crazy hot. Double dipped him, if I remember correctly. But I think Tony Smith is going to get one this year, his first singles national. For doubles, I definitely want to do I think we get a crazy team this year. I don't know if we call it crazy, but something like a Hamilton Kano or something. So I'm going to throw them in for doubles. Samantha Finley in singles, I think she's going to get one this year. And then Jimmy McGuffin, the reigning champ, I got him pulling out national for senior singles.
All right, on to Worlds. Who's going to get it? Who's our world champions?
World champs.
Yeah, world champs. I put this entire list together, right? And I said to myself, you're going to tell me Mark Richards is going to have the season he just had. He ain't going to win anything in singles the next year? Not a chance. Mark Richards, back-to-back singles world champion in back-to-back seasons. And the doubles side, I kind of fibbed, said Graham and Guy wouldn't win 2, but they'll win the world championship. So I have them putting it all together, getting a big win as a team and as a unit. And yeah, continues to build their legacy as one of the best doubles teams of all time.
All right, Anthony, who do you got?
All right, singles world champ Mark Richards definitely sounds like the way to go. I'm going to go on the other flip of the coin of that. Maybe not necessarily flip of the coin, but close. I'm going to say Jamie Graham pulls out the singles this year. I think Mark Richards and Philip Lopez pull it out. Came up just short in doubles last year. I can see them coming out world doubles champ. I kind of alluded to it last week with we were talking women of the year. I think Sarah Cassidy comes out and wins a women's championship. She's throwing so good right now, and I think you throw another 8 months on top of that or whatever that is, she comes out pretty strong. We had Jimmy McGuffin come out and win seniors last year, with Damon the favorite. I'm going to say Frank Maudlin comes out and wins senior singles as a world champ. In his first, would this be his first year as a senior? I think it would be his first year as a senior, right?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, it would be his first season as a senior. I think the only one that I tried to find a place for, and I'm pushing pause as long as I could. I just need to see continued consistency. But if this player plays like they have been playing, they will win a singles national this year, and that is Devin Harbaugh. I was trying to find a place for Devin Harbaugh, and I just could not pull the trigger, but he is right there.
Devin Harbaugh and Kyle Malone were my other singles winners that you both did not mention. And then for doubles, I had Humans, Malone, and Windsor Hicks. I don't think either one of you said Windsor Hicks. But that was it in terms of, the obvious Graham Guy, Richards Lopez, Birchfield Rawls, Richards, Graham, Rawls. Yeah. I mean, that stuff's all, I would be shocked if that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, you're gonna have this. You're gonna have those big guns. They show up every year. That's the issue. The hard part is like convincing myself that I'm gonna see something drastic. Just because, especially on doubles, we just don't see, except maybe once a year, right? Most of the time, it's pretty good parity. I mean, pretty good, dominance by the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love those meets. They all have kind of good storylines to them. I think Kyle Malone would be the comeback story. Devin Harbaugh, kind of like the guy is due story. He's always been right there. And then the Hicks obviously has its own storyline attached to it, just being maybe the second youngest or youngest player in the league. So I love all of those from a storyline perspective. That'd be awesome.
Cool. Well, we shall see. All right, let's flip over to our open events. Let's look at our open standings as they currently are. We've got Ryan Wienfeld in number 1, Zach Shibner second, Anthony Mayball third, Fisher Hamilton fourth, Jeremy Schermerhorn fifth, Alex Rawls sixth, Jeremiah Hector seventh, Chris Kingsbury eighth, Rob Vaj. I hate this name. Why is this name getting me? Vojanov. Sorry, Rob. 9, and Mark Burgess. And there's something new about Rob, right?
Yeah, Rob just got promoted from PDC to Pro. Sean Markov left the division, so he got promoted in place of that. So,
congrats.
Yeah, but open standing. Yeah. Open standings wise, I'm impressed to see Wiedenfeld there. It's a team. It's a player. Like I said, I just predicted him to win one of the events. So I think the two ones that I kind of have my eye on closest, maybe a third on that list. Zach Shibner obviously comes highly touted from the Woodchucks. He was that high second round pick. That was a big deal. Alongside of that, Jeremiah Hector, big question mark around him. We've seen some flashes of really top level play. So excited to see him. And then Chris Kingsbury, right? Again, the Freeze take him with a first round pick. A lot of hype coming in around Kingsbury with how he's been playing recently, and we'll just see if he can live up to those expectations. He's another one of those candidates alongside Purser that could be that rookie at the Cornhole Mania to sneak in and ruin someone's day.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
All right. And we also had the Atlantic Conference happening this past weekend. Devin Harbaugh took singles. Austin Camera and Noah Wooten took doubles. And we had the Canadian Central Conference with singles Glenn McNutt and doubles Dave Dunlop and partner.
Glenn McNutt. He won both.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. All right. So there we go for our news around the league. Anything you want to add there, Anthony, before we go to our draft grades?
Yeah, just from the open standings. I know a lot of this has to do with what kind of talent you're dealing with in your area. So yeah, Wiedenfeld at the top, but you really got to give credit to the Hamiltons, the Rawls, the Kingsburys with just these insane regionals. And you see some of these regional brackets and you're like, damn, that looks like a pro national, it's like, oh my gosh, there's 12 elite level pros in the field. So definitely some credit to those guys, that are performing with tough conferences and regionals. But I just want to, since we're on news around the league, I just want to throw real quick in there. I got a quick peek at a Timmy Jonas performance this weekend out at the Cleveland regional. Timmy Jonas improving his game, and I was pretty impressed. He gets through Jimmy Humans 21-7. He gets Adam Hissner. Then he gets Eric Anderson 21-2, and Trey, he double dipped Noah Almanza in the final to win that thing. So shout out to Timmy Jonas showing what's up.
Nice. Good job, Timmy.
Wow.
All right, let's move over to our draft grades for the American South. So we're going to go through the 4 teams and Trey, are we seeing a lot of B's in this one, or is it all over the place? Where are we at?
We're seeing who are we doing first, Michelle?
All right, let's do Florida Freeze first.
All right, Florida Freeze. Okay, pretty appropriate. I give him a B.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. So, I was looking through the Freeze draft. I think I like some points. Other points are kind of big question marks for me. I think Kingsbury, people can get mad all they want. Kingsbury was a little bit of a reach at 1. But in fairness, he wasn't going to be available coming back. The Freeze kind of found themselves at a point where if they wanted Kingsbury, they were going to have to get Kingsbury with that first pick. So maybe a little bit ahead of where he should have been, but I can understand if they wanted to get their guy, right? So, however, their second and fifth round picks, I have Jeremy Frazier and Sarah Cassidy. Sarah Cassidy in the fifth round was an absolute steal. Not even close. Look at her pro singles ranking. It doesn't make any sense how she made it to the fifth round. That was a slam dunk fifth round pick. Jeremy Frazier, I've been high on him. I think he's a candidate for breakout player of the year. If he's going to be a candidate for breakout player of the year, getting him in the second round is still incredible. Wait for it. Value from Jeremy Frazier. The middle picks is where I loved everything that I just said. The middle picks, Draven Sneed at 8. Draven Sneed kind of fell off. He's in the PDC, getting in the 8th round. I felt like he could have been taken a few rounds later. Ryan Hart and Steve Dericki, you are banking on these, what I would say, mid-range rookies actually really performing, right? So these mid-range rookies, sometimes we see it pan out and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we see those first mid-range rookies that aren't the high-profile ones. They come in, they struggle, they finish in the bottom half of the pro division. So for me, I think it's just there were some things in there that I didn't love in the middle to late rounds. Loved the first half of the draft. So the Freeze get a B from me.
Okay, what'd you give him, Anthony?
All right, so we got our captains, right? Alex Rawls, Cheyenne Bubenheim, Cody Johnson. I just want to get PPR out of the way as we talk about all these collectively. It was negligible. I mean, we're talking a difference of on average a 9.01 to a 9.1. So let's just throw that out unless we get deeper into talking about style of play. But talking to Florida Freeze specifically, you said it, a statement pick by the Freeze to grab the Florida rookie Chris Kingsbury in the first round, 8th overall. I was shocked, to be honest. I mean, yes, the kid can sling him. There's no doubt about it. But still in the field, you're passing up on guys who were still available. Alec Ryan, a Frank Modlin, a Batson, a JBJ, Poitras. I mean, I think the list goes on. But Florida knows Kingsbury well. So I think they're putting a lot of value in him, a lot of value in what they see him do locally. And maybe they get it right. I mean, he is a rookie, so we're all going to figure out what kind of player we get for him in the season. But he certainly showed out in Myrtle Beach. I think that obviously played a factor. And let's note, they did have another pick 17 spots later. Like you said, I think Kingsbury might be available coming back around. I agree. I loved Frazier as the second pick, 40th overall. You said it, Trey. I think he's set up to be a breakout player this year. Rozier at 4th pick, I think was too soon. To me, that's a regional pick. I think he's available later if you wait. You nailed that one too, Trey. I love getting Cassidy at number 5. She was overlooked in my opinion. You were talking about ranks. A top 50 player last season essentially gets picked 120th in the draft because she was the 72nd pick. Plus there's 48 captains already on teams. So you're the 120th pick at a top 50 player. Huge pickup. I do think Ryan Hart in the 7th round could pay off. He was kind of impressive out in Myrtle Beach. We'll kind of see how that one plays off. Freeze grabbed all pros, 2 PDC players. That Draven Sneed one had me confused too. I was like, why are you doing that? You've got a Travis Graven out there who went 7-1 and made it through the qualifier, the gauntlet. Voyer was out there. Thielen was out there. Fillingham was out there. Overall, I'm thinking like a B- is what I'm thinking on this team here.
All right, Georgia Sliders. What'd you give them?
Georgia Sliders, I think it was a slam dunk that they were able to get Ryan Smith and he fell to them. That's one of those picks that you got to feel ecstatic about, knowing that Ryan Smith is a master of this round limited format. He's already shown he's made a pro shootout finals in doubles. So it's a slam dunk. One of the best number 1 picks, I think, out of the entire draft by the Sliders. Then jumping down to rounds, I'm kind of jumping around, but rounds 4 through 7, I thought were slam dunks. They go back to back. Terry Mathis, Bella Suprenant, Bobby Hunt, and Dean Norton. To me, all of those players felt like high upside players based on where they were drafted. I really liked the back-to-back lineup there, was impressed by it. Going back to the 2nd and 3rd round picks, right? You took Cameron Belvin and Caleb Franklin. To me, I think they were betting on who I think this player really is, not necessarily where they exactly finished last season, whether it be in singles or in doubles. So based on that alone, I think there's just a little bit of a question mark if they were the right picks at 2 and 3. Now, they very well could perform at a really high level. If we get the Belvin that we saw at the World Championships, then it's a slam dunk. If we get the Caleb Franklin that we saw at times in some of these pro blind draws last season, it's a slam dunk. There's just sometimes a little bit of a lack of consistency that I wanted to see a little bit more of when we talk about rounds 2 and 3. Overall, sliders really like. A little bit of question marks, maybe some question marks on the very late round picks, but overall, I give them a B+.
Okay. Still in that B range.
Yes.
Anthony?
All right, captains, Wooten, Klemmer, Yaklin. I mean, bottom line, what I was saying live in the draft is what I think could make this team special and potentially win the whole thing. Relationships and loyalties. I mean, Noah Wooten is a loyalty guy. So the thing with that is, as a captain, I think that he'll bring the best performance out of those players when there's a mutual respect amongst the teams. They're going to go out there and die for him and do what they can to win. Ryan Smith, like you said, the 5th overall pick, love it. Smith's an elite level bagger for a while now in this format, like you were saying. Franklin in the 2nd round, I thought was solid. He gets Belvin, Soprenit, Bobby Hunt, all tight bonds there, and they can deal in this game. Bobby Hunt was their first rookie pick in the 7th round, I think was massive. I mean, how the heck that guy was still available, I think he got overlooked for a while. Just kind of big picture, there's no regional bias here. Everyone's kind of all over. There's a little bag bias late in the rounds. Otherwise, it's all over the place. But I'm vibing this Georgia Sliders team. I'm going to go A. I'm going to go A on this one.
Whoa, the first A. All right. I was wondering if it was going to happen. All right, how about Virginia Cutters?
So Virginia Cutters, I think a really solid pick at number 1 with Ryan Wiedenfeld. I just said he's going to win a national, right? So, I mean, I think I can't go ahead and say anything other than that's a slam dunk, right? Unless I'm being hypocritical. So, where I think some of the risk was in this team is with people that we expected over the past year to finish at a certain point or to do a certain expectation that may not have lived up to that, but we're still optimistic that they're going to get back on track. And you can see that with 3 people: Logan Chamberlain, Timothy Pitcher, and Brevin Valdivia. If you take those from the best that they have been in the past 1 year to 3 years, depending on how long, obviously I can't say that 3 years for Logan Chamberlain. He's a rookie, right? But high level of expectation coming out, especially out of Texas, coming out of college. Timothy Pitcher has been there, right? He has absolutely been there at the highest level. And then Brevin Valdivia, been there at the highest level. But those 2 in particular went through either a rough patch last year or the year before. They took some time off. So it's just like, where are these guys going to finish? I don't know. That's the issue. And that's kind of where I almost dock it a little bit, because I say, if I'm not entirely sure with 3 of your top 7 round picks, like, that makes me a little bit worried, right? I'm just worried about what I'm going to get out of those players. They could all pan out, and it could be a slam dunk of a draft. I just don't know. Only other thing I'll mention is Dingus dropped a pretty good bit. I think it was a slam dunk to pick out Dingus. I really like that. Overall, I'm going to give him a B-. Just because, like I said, there's some risk in there. It could pay off and go a lot higher. I'm just a little bit worried.
All right. Anthony, did you deviate out of the B range? Oh, wait, you're muted. You're muted.
I got you now. Yeah, your captains, Stranger, Washington, Allen. They get the 3rd pick in the draft. Like you said, going Wiedenfeld. At that point, Malone and Hamilton were gone. So showing Virginia's not afraid to go grab the young rookie. And we should note, the world's doubles champ, Jay Rubin, was still available, and they elected to pass. So, Wiedenfeld's certainly proven himself, but it was just that pick that caught me off guard. If you look at the captains and that team specifically, Wiedenfeld just seemed like a weird fit to me. Ryan Smith was still out there, and he's from Virginia alongside Captain James Washington. They passed on him. A lot of elite level East Coast players available that they just passed on. So that was kind of interesting to me. But Logan Chamberlain as a second pick felt early. But if you're going out and grabbing a partner for Wiedenfeld, it made sense. So if that's what the Captains were doing, is going 1-2, we want to make partnerships, not necessarily get partners for us, that made sense. You mentioned Dingus in the third round, a top 35 player last season, strong grab in the third round. Really the entire middle part of their draft was good to me. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They go Dingus, pitcher, Valdivia, Segura, and Salih. I really like the middle piece of that. And then Polis as their second to last pick, I think was a good value pick. I'm going B+, Mish.
One thing I'll add there, the one thing that you prefaced on, it's, there's some traction to this. I don't know if it will come to fruition, but I do know the Cutters, a big part of their logic for taking Ryan Wiedenfeld was, one, if he ends up on our team, we know he's going to be solid, but there were multiple teams behind them that badly wanted Ryan Wiedenfeld. Okay. And so I know the Captains, at least part of the strategy, may not all of the strategy, could have / was go ahead and take Wiedenfeld, and we now have a really valuable trade asset if we wanted to go up and scoop up some more depth. So don't know if that trade comes to fruition, but that's definitely on the mind of some of these teams.
Makes sense. All right, last one in this section here is the Carolina Coasters, which if you watched Baggin' and Braggin' last week, you got to hear a very excited Trevor Brooks talk about his team of dogs.
Yes.
What do you think? Are the dogs?
Mish, you're going to be so disappointed by this. I was going to give out an A for this team until the trade. When you factor in the trade, I think it hurt the team. Okay. Let's go back to the trade. They take Jordan Kamba. Then they turn around and immediately, because they admitted this, because they took Jordan Kamba, they take James Baldwin with the second round pick. Okay. Then Kamba voices that he doesn't love that. They trade Kamba away to the Bully Baggers to pick up Berkeley Pear. Now, here's the issue that I have. Based on that logic, James Baldwin was not your guy. Okay. You took James Baldwin because you thought it would be a pick for Kamba, who then you went and traded away to a different team. So in my mind, not only did they, quote, waste a first-round pick in this draft, they wasted their second-round pick. Now, in the end, we could argue back and forth if Berkeley Pear deserves to be that second-round pick in that spot. I would argue for them to do the turn and one of those two players in the turn that they get the first and second round being Berkeley Pear, I'm fine with. I'm just not convinced that James Baldwin was going to be the right guy at that pick, right? Or the guy that they wanted at that pick. So I have to dock him for that. That takes him out. Now, let's talk about the things that I love. To get Derek King, to get Kaylee Hunter, to get Hunt, to get a great 2 through 4 run, I think is incredible, and they showed incredible value. Going to the late round picks, you even get a doubles team like Lori Dool and Miranda Coy super late. That if Lori Dool and Miranda Coy, based on that, are your 7th team, that's when you know you're really putting together a really tough squad. So overall, I really like the team. I just hated the trade and how it turned out. It takes them from an A, a solid A, down to a solid B, unfortunately.
Wow, a whole grade. All right. Anthony, how about you?
I feel that. So out of the gate, we're talking about Jamie Graham, Eric Davis, Trevor Brooks at captains. I mean, it doesn't get, to me, much more OG, like high IQ or legendary, like as captains. And here's the things with these boys, and I think you alluded it to earlier, Mish. I mean, they've already been playing at this game at a high level when most of us were picking up our first bag. So, I mean, with that, you're going to get, you have to ignore stat sheets. I think you have to ignore Facebook posts. You have to ignore live streams and actually look at what these guys are doing from a pick perspective. They're going to know, you said it, Misha, they're going to know what players are going to be dogs for them. Who's going to crack under the pressure? Who's going to give them 110%? I think that's what they're looking for. That number one, that trade that you were talking about with Kemba Pair, I actually don't hate it because I think Pair is going to be a dog and he's going to perform better paired up with a Brooks than some of the other doubles teams would altogether. And then you're getting rid of a Kemba who was unsatisfied. So, I mean, you're just making these decisions on the fly. Do we get someone who's going to come in here and want to give us 100%? Or do we get rid of a Kemba who, kind of has given us a weird vibe here? So I kind of think it was a brilliant move. And then you go, okay, let's add more legendary to our team. James Baldwin and Derek King, who specialize in doubles. So overall, I think this is the most experienced team out there when you're looking at it. I liked Chad Hunt at the 80th pick. I think Jamie Graham and him team up, actually. Dave Moores was still available as the 112th pick. What was that? And then to see Harvey still available way out there at like 110 somewhere blew my mind. The turn, I think, was nice late. Coy, Duel, a nice partnership late in the draft. I mean, that's pretty strong for a late in the draft. And then even your one rookie or your first rookie pickup, Patuski has TV broadcast experience. So I think just a lot of experience here. I feel you, Trey, but I'm going to still go with an A because I think we got to give credit to the knowledge these guys have of actually playing on the boards in the trenches with these players. And I think that's going to be way more valuable than going stat sheet, PPR, bracket finish. I think they know these players from grinding in it, and I think that's going to pay off.
I'll ask you one quick question. Would you have taken, if you're the Carolina Coasters, and for your turn, you could have done Berkeley Pair, Travis Purser. Would you have liked that better?
Then
what you ended up with
Baldwin?
Which will you ended up with Pair Baldwin?
Yeah.
That one's tough, man. I got to keep in mind that this is a doubles format. I don't hate it, Trey. I don't hate it.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. And that was and Trevor said we got everybody we wanted. So, I mean, they seem very pleased and I think the grade fits. All right, let's move into over under. I'm going to give you a number and you guys tell me if it's going to be over or under. The first one is 0.5 and it's the number of singles nationals won by rookies this season.
Yeah, I got to go over because I made it part of my prediction list. I had Ryan Wiedenfeld gets the single win. I think it's at the Cornhole Mania. I think we just get the one. I definitely don't think it's higher than one. So I'll go over.
Anthony?
Yeah, you got, what is it? It's a 1 in 5 chance. Creek Killer did it last year. You got Ryan Hamilton, Wiedenfeld, JBJ. I'm going to go over as well, Mish. I like it.
1.5, the number of doubles nationals won by Jamie Graham and Matt Guy this season.
Yeah, if we're talking about just nationals, those 4 during the regular season, they won 2 last year. I'll go under this year. I think during the regular season, Graham, Guy, Lopez, Richards kind of flip-flop with Graham and Guy. They become the premier team to win a couple. Graham and Guy will get 1. I do have them winning the world championship, though, but I will go under 1.5 nationals.
Anthony?
Yeah, you said it. They got 2 last season. The double squads are just so tough this season. Would I be surprised if they hit 2? Hell no, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm thinking it's going to be 1. I'm thinking 1 as well. Okay. So under.
All right. 9.75, the lowest PPR to win a singles national this season.
I am going to go higher. I do not see someone winning a pro national less than a 9.7 PPR. Crazy. Now, that to me, that does not mean everybody's got to be throwing a 10.5 or a 10.7. But what it does mean is that when I start looking at these statistics of how Fisher Hamilton is winning, how Alex Rawls is winning, how Eric Davis wins, right? You can't tell me they're going to win with a 9.4 PPR. It's just not enough bags in the hole. I think the ultimate winner for a carpet bag thrower is still going to be a 9.8, 9.85 type of range. So I'm going to go over that a singles national winner does not win below 9.75.
Okay, Anthony?
And Trey, this is their overall, this is their PPR for the whole tournament, right? Not just the championship game. Yeah. I'm going to go under. I'm going to go under. Wow. We're seeing a trend towards wins with PPR ranks in 5th through 7th. That seems to be the hot spot. We're seeing that over and over again, at least in the open formats. players winning with 9 threes to 9 sixes, and certain types of players, your Ryans, your Hamiltons, your Wiedenfields. And since it's an overall tournament, I think collectively overall, we're getting a lot more strategy in the field, which is going to force some of those PPRs down. You're going to have a game or two where you run into, a Ryan or a Davis who you're going to pitch an 8-9 in one game, or 2 games, because you're seeing that more and more. So I'm going to say under. I think someone wins it under a 9.75.
All right. 20.5, the number of career ACL titles that the all-time leader will have by the end of the season. Graham and Guy are 18, Birchfield 13, Richards, Guy, Davis, Windsor are 10, just for some reference. So over, under.
Yeah, so that would mean like Birchfield has to win 8 titles this year. Probably not going to happen, but Graham or Guy, it means can they win 3 this year? I think that's a safe bet that one of them wins 3. I will say over. I think it's going to be Jamie Graham. I think Jamie Graham will take the all-time title lead on Matt Guy this year, and he will keep it forever.
Wow.
Anthony?
Trey's full.
I'm sorry. Is
that a hot take?
He will keep it forever from Matt Guy. I'm not saying that maybe someone else 5 years from now ends up passing Jamie Graham.
Yeah, no, I knew what you meant.
I'm saying Jamie Graham passes Matt Guy this year in titles, and Matt never gets it back.
That's still a hot take. I love that.
It's still a hot take, yeah.
I love that. No one stands a chance other than Graham and Guy. Richards needs to get 11. I think he got 10 last year in this unbelievable season, so there's no way he's going to beat that. I'm going to go over. I think you said it. I think Graham, Guy get a shootout win. I think one of them gets a single shootout win, so doubles, singles, and then win a national singles or doubles. There's your 3. I like that one actually with high confidence. I like that over with high confidence.
Agreed. All right, last one, 5.5, the number of carpetbag throwers in the top 10 at the end of the season. So that would be more than half.
Under. I know where Anthony's going. I'm going under on this one.
Anthony?
I'm under as well. I mean, I am realistic. Last season we had 1.
We threw him a layup. We threw him a softball layup here.
No, I needed like 3.5. 5.5 is high. Last season we had 1 legit carpetbaggers. We had asterisks on Harbaugh and Eric Davis. Devin, he started off with carpet and then switched over to a surefire-like material with his dragon bags. And then Eric Davis, those assaults, he plays them like a carpet bag, but they're not a carpet bag. I'm going to say the under. But yeah, the game is evolving. I think we need to get away from calling it carpetbaggers and that philosophy that you need a carpet bag to play a dirty game. Because I think players, they're getting deep bags. Their bag of tricks.
Change it from carpet bag to dirty style player.
Yeah, there you go. Because so many players are able to do that.
So is it over under?
Oh, it would be over for sure. Because I would throw Rawls in there.
I still think it's under.
Yeah, Rawls. That makes sense.
I would throw Rawls in there. I would now throw Richards in there.
I'm not giving you Richards.
No,
I'm not giving you Richards.
No way.
You don't get Richards. You don't
get
Richards.
He's still a slide down the center and deal with stuff when he has to. I don't think he's creative. I don't know. That's a whole other debate.
I will give you Rawls, but you don't get Graham. You don't get Richards. I got to draw a line somewhere.
That's a hard line to draw. All right, let's get into name that team. We don't have much time left, and it's your new game. So lead us into it, Trey.
So part of this was I was thinking about a segment we could do here, and it was name that team now, because it's a name that player. And part of this is I went through this team and I was saying to myself, holy moly, this doesn't. I'm going to start reading some of these things, and you're almost not going to believe me. Okay. So if you guess this team, you get the big win of the day. Right. But, 16 player roster, right? 4 of the players on the team have made it to the final 4 of a world championship in either singles or doubles. Okay. 10 of the 16 players have played on a main broadcast court with TV experience. 10 of the 16. Of those not in that 10, so we got the 10 that are the broadcast people. The 2 outside of the 10 have each won an open singles championship.
I got a guess, but I'm waiting.
Okay. And of all those that I haven't said, right? So that would be the 10 of the 16 plus the 2 is 12. So the only 4 left are all rookies. So anybody that is coming back has either won a open singles championship or has played on an ESPN, CBS, NBC broadcast court before. That, when you lay it out like that, is absolutely ridiculous.
That's
Do you
crazy.
guys have a guess?
Yeah, this team's 4 rookies are going to be Hunt, Patuski, Whitaker, and Allen. It's the Carolina Coasters.
No.
Son of a! I was feeling good about that one. I was feeling good about that
And
one.
I think this speaks to it. Go ahead, Michelle.
Wow.
I just feel like I don't know any of the rosters well enough, so I'm just shooting completely in the dark. But Chicagoland Spinners.
It is not. It is the Las Vegas High Rollers.
Oh.
Here we go. Tanner Halbert, Cody Henderson, Eric Zockline, believe it or not, and Jay Dotson have all played in the Final Four of a World Championship previously. Okay? Listen to all these other players that they have. Hunter Thorne, way back in the Pro Invitational Qualifier days, made an ESPN debut. Kobe Costanza has played on ESPN in the college. Okay. Danny Seals played on TV before. Derek Singleton, Vanessa Fillingham, Alex Lippard did it in college as well. Okay. That rounds out your other 10 players who have made a broadcast court experience. Then you also add Alan Rawls and Tice Cobb, who have both won singles open wins before at the won a championship. Tice did it in Austin in 2021, and Alan did it in Winter Haven in 2022 at the beginning of the season. Then you add in from that, you simply just add in the rookies that they have on the team. You have a Jeremiah Hector, a Trey Baker, a Carter Bennett, and a Chris Seaton. When you look at it like that, I'm almost like in disbelief. Like that, for a team to put that level of experience together, even though their team isn't the most veteran, I just found very, very interesting.
Run the same thing on the Coasters. I think I'm counting 12 TV broadcasts experience with a ton of championships. That one would be pretty interesting too.
So Graham, Davis, Brooks, Pear, Baldwin, King, Hunter,
Patuski,
Morse,
Harvey,
Coy, Duel, Morton's no longer there, but Brown has it. So they actually have 13.
Oh, there's a 13.
And actually, they added Ken Allen, so they have 14. So you're right, Anthony. They have even more. Ken Allen was a free agent pickup who does have that experience as well.
That's so crazy.
Wow.
Yes, right, so anyway. All right, keep us on track, Michelle.
That's awesome.
There's like 5 hot takes, but what are you going with for the
I don't know. I feel like I've given so many hot takes. Like I'm gonna bet on myself 7.5 PPR from this guy right here this week.
Oh, you're gonna bet on yourself. Oh, okay, I like it.
Hot
Then
take.
we can definitely cover it next week. All right, Anthony.
I'm going to feed off the kind of the Nationals predictions that we were doing earlier. Even with the strong rookie class, I think we only get half of the number of rookies that won from last season. So we had 8 rookie wins. Richards had 3. Johnson had 1. Creek Killer had 1. Maupin had 1. And Lopez had 1. I think we only get half. 4 rookie championships in Nationals and Worlds this season. Wow. But I think they're going to be deep. I think they'll be deep. Bracket finals, bracket winners, but not actually as many wins.
Right. And I'm going with Kyle Malone. In either singles or doubles, we'll take a title there in our national series.
Yep.
I think he's on fire right now. And I heard his interview on Borderline, and I think he's in the right headspace. So that's all we have time for today. We'll see you guys all next time.